All right.
Always the pro. So we're on now. We're live.
Hey, yeah, we're live now. No intro.
Did you say fuck the intro?
Fuck the intro. We're going in raw dog. No protection on this one. We're just going in.
Is this Sunday? Oh.
Now I'm more worried about
Like
being
a
between
Sunday.
two guys. Now I'm more worried about being. These two guys invited me in a room and start talking about raw dogging. Hey, welcome to
Tyler
Decode.
yourself, don't you?
Yeah, I just realized this is like an old overlay, guys. So ignore the dicodic thing. I was like, I just realized this. Fuck. Yeah. I
was a bit weird. I was like, oh, it's Gaijin, guys. Is that like a subsidiary of Decodec? But it's like, no, the guy just doesn't know how to change his graphics. That's okay.
I was like,
Very astute.
I forgot to tell Wave to give me the new whatever. Yeah, you guys
Blame
know
it
what I'm
on
saying.
Wave.
Yeah.
Where's my fucking plug? You're supposed to put my logo down.
I
the bottom as well.
I know. It's all fucked up.
You're not going to even ask me about my new book that's coming
Yeah.
out. This is all awful. This is terrible. The professionalism is.
Yeah, it's great. You know, while I'm juggling around with this, tell us about yourself, Baka. Tell them who you are.
All right. So you fuck up, and then I have to bail you out. I
Yes.
love how this works. All right.
Take it away,
All right.
Howard. Let them know.
You want him to explain you? No.
Don't worry, no one can explain that. So let's go in with things that can be explained. First of all, hello everyone. My name is Howard. I am from the channel Baka Broadcast, as a lot of you know. As you might have seen by that wonderful clickbait thumbnail, today we're going to be talking about how I basically don't like the band who shall not be named, because that's what I call them.
The goal is to get you to say the name.
I got a band like that too.
Yeah.
Oh, good. We can get onto that as well. But basically, yeah, no, it's going to be a fun thing. And I like the fact that, do you know what? Pretty much the minute you posted that thumbnail, I had a little look. I was like, oh, that's cool. It's a nice thumbnail. And I looked in the chat. You know how people can type in chat before the video goes live?
Yeah.
Just the first person was like, he doesn't like them because they gave him a copyright strike. I was like, well, there you go. There's no point watching the fucking video now. First guy. So
All
was
right,
this my
thanks,
press
everybody.
release guy? It's like, do you know what? I'm not going to do it. This guy, I'll send him a DM. You come on, you do it for me, mate.
Right? That's
But no,
well,
it's
tell
it's
them
a
what you do
little
on
bit
your
more
channel,
fun.
man.
Sorry?
Tell them what you do on your channel, man. He has a really good channel, very informative. It's awesome. I just caught up on all his episodes right now. He does really good in-depth reviews, but tell them more about it. I'm sure they'd rather
Yeah,
hear
so
from you.
basically, as you've probably worked out already now by watching a bit of this, I'm incapable of shutting up. So what the channel basically is as someone who has worked around music my entire adult life, and someone who lives out here in Japan, I really just decided that I wanted to do a channel about Japanese music. It started off with me doing a reaction channel, but I've got to admit, it just didn't really sit well with what I wanted to do. So I decided to switch over to just doing reviews, where I just take down the video. So what is it? Me talking. You have a little subject to chapter bar, which goes through as I talk about all the things, and little pictures appear. And I just waffle about songs that I like and share my opinions. I don't like all the songs I listen to, so it's not all just like ass kissing. Sometimes I'll be like, nah, I don't really like this one. But
I can't put that on there because people might get disturbed and you might get blocked, I guess, if you do all that.
Well, that's a good thing. No one can get me on copyright anymore. So I'll be like, why I thought this song was shit. But no, basically, if I'm not a big fan of something, I won't keep on reviewing it. I might do 1 or 2 reviews, but I don't want to just hammer on about why I don't like something. But so yeah, it's an opportunity for that. We've got a great community who like to suggest songs to me, where there's all kinds of things going on our Discord's really lively. So I just think our channel is a place for people to just come and have honest conversation and listen to a guy waffle about music and then tell him how wrong he is. That's what we do. So, and at the current moment, we're posting like 2 videos a day. One is like me catching up with a new song, and another one, I decided to start doing a series where I give a 2-minute or 2 to 3 minute review every day of an old song, maybe a song that we talked about in the past or that people have probably all listened to, and me just saying why that song is great.
So yeah, getting to the title, so it's not considered clickbait. Let's talk about this. Why?
Hey, you got my graphic up.
Thank
you, sir.
In the title, man.
I like that you actually replaced your dicodec with my title bar. I like that. That was very good.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I am now going to give you a copyright strike though for taking my artwork.
Fuck. God damn it. Well, tell us what happened with Maximum the Hormone. Why do you not like them? Why do you hate them?
All right.
That's a strong word. He doesn't really hate. Okay, maybe the hate part was the clickbait part, but there is a legit reason why he doesn't like them. It's not really a musical thing, right? It's not really a musical reason. Go ahead and...
Well, that's what I was thinking, is that for anyone who's thinking, oh, I've heard this story a million times before, as you might have done on my channel, I decided I'm going to approach it slightly differently this time. And especially after I read that comment, which was just someone going, yeah, you got a correct strike. I was like, oh, okay, fair enough. I thought I'd just take an opportunity to talk a little bit more about what the actual reaction video we did was, because obviously a lot of people never saw it.
Yeah, because I don't know the full story, because when we did a podcast together, we didn't really go into detail because we said we weren't going into detail. So I'm curious, go in it, because I don't really know. I'm sure a lot of people here don't know. Give us a whole rundown. What the fuck happened, you know?
People are already bored of my voice. It's time for some more. Okay. So basically, if you are enjoying this by any chance, this is what my channel is. What started off with, when I started doing this channel originally, it was something that it evolved from a radio show that I was doing with two friends. We had this radio program. It was really good. It was like lots of things on it. And a part of it, the show had several segments, and it was a weekly show. And part of the show was a bit which was all about Japanese music, which was basically the Baka Breakdown is what we called it at the time. We had to rename it to Baka Broadcast just in case anyone's wondering why I'm saying a different name. But that was something that we decided when I started thinking, well, I want to do something new with YouTube. I took that over, and so we were doing reactions. And sometimes the reactions were just me if it was something serious. My two friends who worked in it, one is Irish comedian, very funny guy. So he would come on for like crazy stuff like Gaijin Spin, just so he could give more out there reaction. And then my other friend, he owns a comic book shop. He's a bit more of a he knows his anime and stuff. So he would come on for other things, and he would often recommend songs that were maybe like anime theme tunes that I didn't know. But the core was me doing the music side of things. Anyway, the guy who owns a comic book shop, he is a massive fan of the man who shall not be named.
What band? Wait, what band was that? What band was? What did you say?
Hey, if you want to know, look at the thumbnail, fuckers.
You want to explain why you're not saying the name real quick? Just a little side.
Oh yeah,
you promised.
It's become like a meme thing now on my channel ever since. Because there was such a big thing around it at the time, it caused such an issue that we refer to them as the band who should not be named. I don't know who first said that or first coined that. I think it was one of our regulars on the Discord. But when they said that, I was just like, yeah, it's kind of funny. And I said it a couple of times, and then it just caught on that no one should ever say the name.
All right.
But like I say, my friend who was one of the co-runners of the channel, and obviously I'm still friends with both of them, but they both kind of backed off just because of other experiences. And I kind of took more of a serious approach to it, which is why it came into more into my name, and is the Irish comedian who named the channel instantly, which is why I've still got the name Baka above me everywhere I go.
Okay. That makes sense.
The thing is, though, is he, like I say, my friend who owned a comic book shop, massive fan of this band. And he was like, he played me some of their stuff before, and I was like, okay, it's not really 100% my thing, but I liked the craziness. So I was like, okay. And he told me about how, I think it was the drama, she went away because she was pregnant, and they did this thing where they came back and they did a song which was like, it was supposed to be really cutesy, and it goes mental halfway through. And I was like, okay, so there's kind of a cool idea to this, but I got to admit, at the same time, I felt it was a little bit like, okay, it felt a little bit try hard to me. Like they were trying so hard to be crazy that they almost kind of forgot to actually write a good song. But I was like, okay, I can still find this. Again, I'm really honest, guys. Sorry, if you don't like honest opinions, you're gonna hate this.
I find it refreshing, man. So it's like
look,
yeah.
Buddies, I still haven't got back to 1,000 subs. I'm not fucking doing a popularity contest right here, okay? So it's.
We love you anyways, Howard.
But yeah, I mean, my honest opinion after hearing a couple of songs, I was like, okay, I kind of like them because I found them endearing. That's my thing. I was like, okay, even if I'm not big into what you're doing musically, I find you endearing. I find you interesting. I kind of want to hear more. So no, friend comes to visit me in Japan, and every time he came to visit me in Japan, we do the actual reactions in person. So he loads up the song. We listened to it. It was, at the time, it was like their newest song. Gotta have some water, sorry. And so we did the review, and he was really into it. He was, oh, this is brilliant. He said, it's great. And in a way, because I'm sitting next to my bestie and he's just like gushing over this song, even I kind of like, I was like, yeah, you know, I just didn't want to say anything bad about it. But I did my usual thing. I tried to like sort of say, well, you know, I felt, you know, some parts of it, I said it creeps a little bit into a bit of a new metal vibe occasionally that maybe detracts from any originality that it might have. And I was like putting little things in. Basically, I was being kind of complimentary about it, and that was it.
You were finding what was good about it. Like you did the thing like that Wave does, who's also on this podcast. That's how he is. He always, if he doesn't like the song, he'll try to find the best things in it. Like, you know what I mean? Like he'll find what is cool to him that he's hearing. So that makes sense.
Just talking about potentially clickbait thumbnails. I love the one you got lined up of him being lasered by the eyes of Sue from Baby Metal.
That really happened.
Yeah, that really happened.
So, still recovering.
That's just
it was
reality.
crazy
that's
because everyone was
reality.
waiting to see what's going on, and she just showed up and lasered his ass, and we can't really even talk about it. We shouldn't mention it now.
Okay, you need someone who does CGI to edit that into reality. Just deep fake that into reality.
Yo,
and go,
shout out to Wave for that thumbnail though. Fucking classic. That's
we
probably
did that.
his best. Yeah, he's the thumbnail guy over here. He did the best.
Oh, okay. He's a good thumbnail guy. I'll give you that. So anyway, this is where we get into the boring part of the story. That basically, we got struck by them. As you know, when you get a strike from someone, we'd had strikes before, and I never monetized the channel. One of the reasons I never monetized the channel is because I've been a great believer that I do believe that if you're contacted about one of your videos, a reaction video, this is just my belief, and they say either we're going to take the money from it, like a copyright claim, or they say we're going to take it down and block it, I have no objection to either of those because I believe it is their copyrighted property and I am not against them doing that. I think it's bad business. I think they're stupid to do it because they should think about the business and go, hey, you know what, reactions are good for us, but it is their right. However, copyright striking for me is a form of pettiness. I think it is vindictive and it is punching down. And what I found out is when I researched into the copyright strike, which if anyone who doesn't know, that affects you, and if you get a few of them, they close your channel. We found that you can trace it back to who it came from, and it came directly from an email, not associated.
I want to stop you real quick.
Associated to them.
I want to stop you real quick. That's the part I'm curious about is how you traced it down back to them. You know, you're probably getting to that. Sorry, just in case.
Well, I mean, that's simple. We did an inquiry directly through YouTube, and YouTube gave us that YouTube have to give you the email of the person who, because they have to verify themselves to accuse you, and you have to be given if you ask for it, you have to be given the contact. And we got their contact email.
Just to make sure I completely understand. So when you went to go to get inquiry for it, they literally gave you the email of who sent it, and that's how you kind of saw exactly who sent the email. Just to make sure I'm on the same page.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going to bore anyone with going into the whole details of how we knew that it had to either be from the band or from the band's direct orbit. Okay. But it could not have come from very far away, you know, sort of one deep from the band. So I thought, okay, I'm not going to get riled up because it's the video's in English. I'm thinking to myself, well, look, they probably don't speak English. They're probably looking at this. They have no idea about the content. And they're just, you know, they're not happy about it. It's fine. So I sent an email both in Japanese and in English, and no response. Basically, long story short, this became a thing where it carried on. We did a little bit of inquiring through their fan clubs, through their fan, trying to pressure for some response after a few weeks had passed, and especially after our channel ended up getting closed off the back of a bit of copyright strike madness. But it was the fact that we'd had copyright strikes before, and usually you don't always get them removed, but you can deal with them, and there's a degree of politeness. But it was the fact that it didn't come from the Japanese record industry sort of group as it usually does. I can't remember what the name is. It didn't come from the record company. It came from their circle. And whereas everyone else replies, they were the one entity who did not reply. And that to me just showed, and we tried various other alleyways after trying to contact them directly. To me, that just showed a sort of kind of like they're treating YouTube as the enemy, and like they're treating YouTubers as the enemy. And especially considering our video, if they were just going off of our faces, it was two people smiling, one who was like bursting with joy because he's listening to the new song by his favorite band. I'm like, how do you watch this and think, oh yeah, I want to close them down? So
maybe you're
like,
smiling. Maybe your smiling was condescending. I don't know.
Maybe it was that bit where I had the word cunt appear in huge letters on the screen. I don't know.
Well,
that didn't happen then.
And it's funny that we had this with this meetup, right? I asked you to come on, and you know what actually reminded me?
This is where we're going.
This is why I invited you. Why it triggered. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. I need to ask Baka to come on.
My charming personality as well, by the way.
That too. Andrew told me, he reminded me, he's like, hey, you should have Baka Broadcast on. I'm like, oh yeah, Howard and I did a podcast a while back, and I have watched your videos. I love your reviews. The reviews are really good, so you guys should definitely go subscribe to him. Help him hit 1,000. It's because I swear to God, if I hear him complain about not hitting 1,000 again, I'm gonna go over there and slap him. No, just kidding. I'm kidding.
Do it.
But it's funny though. What really reminded me even further, so we were talking about setting up the podcast, right? And as we're talking about setting up for this podcast, Maximum Hormone gave me a copyright strike, which was like kind of ironic. And it was like, I had it coming, you know, I got it, you know, I had a streak going. You remember I told you about my trick where I said I was in Canada, then I wasn't in Canada, then I moved it back to the US, and I got lucky. But then somebody emailed me this video. I'm like, oh my God, I've never seen this video. And I should have known better. And I was really worried they were going to take down my all the songs, right? So then I put it up, and at first they just copyrighted it, which is normal, totally fine. And then they blocked it. Okay, whatever, they blocked it. But then I got hit with a strike. I'm like, what? Why did you go down the line? Like, first they copyright it, then they blocked it, and then they hit me with a strike. So now I got to be really careful with it.
Because they watched one video, then they watched another one, then they watched
right?
Kind of as Mia was saying, I mean, I don't know. But that, to me, everything about that, it could be anything. It could be the process of just how their automated system works. It could be that. We don't know. But it just gives you the vibe of, considering what I know from when I had the issue with them, it gives you the vibe of, I can't help but feeling there's a possibility that, again, that was them. They were like, oh, we heard that this happened. They checked out your channel. It's like, oh, he's got too many subs. He's talking about us. You know, I don't know. That could have happened. I'm not just trying to spread shit here. But I'm gonna choose to believe.
I'm gonna choose to believe, even though it's probably inaccurate. All the hell, I'm gonna choose to believe that it's not them. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, well, you are still a fan, and you know,
but obviously that could be stupid on my part. So I don't know. But
I want to put this out because one thing I want to say is that although it's become kind of like a meme on our channel, and to be fair, it's like 3 years since it happened, so it's not even something we even really talk about anymore. It's just something that came up because we had obviously this mutual bond over it. But the truth is, I should point out, if you're someone who listens to their music and you like their music, it's not like, you know, I'm not like, oh, everyone boycott them. So music's music. It's a bunch of sounds coming through speakers and headphones. If you enjoy it, just enjoy it. Okay?
Exactly. And that's how I feel about it too. You just listen to the music and go about your day. Now, Ryan, have you had a copyright strike yet? Have you been hit by any band?
I have, but not by Maximum Hormone.
Oh, like an actual strike, or like where?
Yeah, I've only had one. I can't even remember who it was.
Which company? Sony?
Just
yeah, Sony.
Of course it would be, wouldn't it? Sony or Victor.
Yeah, I got a couple MTH videos up, and they're good. One of them I went through like 2 or 3 songs.
Yeah.
So I don't know what your problem is.
maybe they're just like, what are you doing differently?
They don't like it because you're actually in Japan. Maybe that's why. Maybe they figured it out. They're like, oh, this motherfucker's in Japan.
Well, you're not.
I know. That's why. Oh, that's true. But I've only got one strike. For me,
well, I don't know, man. I know. I'm looking at that background
video
behind you, that green screen behind you. It looks like you're in Japan to me.
This is not.
Don't tell me that's not real.
This is a real studio, okay? Oh, anyways, back to what I was going to say, though.
He lives in a low contrast reality.
I got a question, though. Which Maximum Hormone video did you get a strike on? Which one triggered it?
I love how you keep on trying to say the name like you think I'm going to repeat it back at some point. So I'm glad it's a long name, so like, even if I got halfway through the name, I could still stop myself because it's a long enough name to not get all the way through. Like, oh, I nearly did it.
Yeah, you got to say a pretty long name. It's not like something one word. You're like maximum the hormone. We'll get you to say it. Don't worry.
But to be honest, I literally do not remember. All I know is that it sounded a bit like a kind of a new metal ripoff, but hey, that could be any of their songs. Bam!
Wow.
And I'm out.
All right. So, Ryan, how was your day?
It's fine. I was trying to look up what strike I got. What do you say? It's just a new metal ripoff?
Yeah.
Everyone just try not to look at Howard.
Yeah. We're just gonna. Howard has left the building.
So if you play any style of music that is like a previous style of music, it's a ripoff and not valid.
Sorry, say that one more time. Actually, I thought that was an interesting point there.
If you play a style of music that is like a previous style of music, it's a ripoff and not valid music.
No, I think that to be honest, it's a very fair point to say that really it's almost impossible to do anything totally original anymore. For me, true. And by the way, obviously that insult again, that's me just sort of like just being a bit silly for the sake of it. But I do get very tired of bands where they do a genre, but it doesn't feel like they've got anything to add to it. I mean, sometimes you hear a band, they do a genre and you go, okay, well, look, I don't think you've added anything to it, but you can still listen to it and go, okay, I see what you were looking to bring there. And when we're talking about this band, yeah, I can see what they are actually trying to do, which gives them a bit of personality. There's a little bit of a crazy uniqueness to it. But just musically, I find that they're doing, like, musically, it just sounds like, yeah, I've heard that before. I heard that quite a lot before and I've heard it done better. So that's just my feeling on it, you know.
You just explained why it's a little different and maybe worth listening to. I'm just saying,
why,
if you're looking for what they bring to it that hasn't been brought before, then that's a reason to. I mean, what else can you do? If the music, I agree, it's hard to come up with something original. So because at this point, you know, most everything's been about every combination's been done. You have to figure out how to do it to make it sound interesting. So I can see where, okay, I've heard this before, this groove or this kind of riff or whatever. But if a band brings something to it that makes them unique, then I mean, what else can you ask for?
Well, no, that's my point. That's actually the good thing. If a band's doing that, which they are doing that, that's why in actuality, if I'm just sort of dropping the sort of humor for a second, I do think there's a sort of validity to what they do. I don't personally get much from their music, but you know, when like my best mate says he really likes them, I get it. I understand it. I can see why people would like them. So honestly, I'm not actually deriding their music. And I think most people in the community, my community, know I don't really have anything against their music. It's not massively my thing, but I don't think they're a bad band either. I just think they're a bunch of bastards. That's what
you're bitter. You're a little bitter.
You're a little bitter.
I understand.
I'm bitter as a meme. I'm meme bitter because when you're meme bitter, people start getting passionate, and that's when you get views. That's when you make a thumbnail saying, "Why does he hate that band?" See, I didn't say that shit.
Like a band like Faith No More, which I compare. Like I'll compare the two, but
I can see that. Yeah.
Mike Patton is a brilliant singer, but he's also a fucking dick. So like, it's hard to like appreciate how good of a singer he is when he's such a dick. So you have to either like, okay, I like the music, or do you start disliking music because you don't like the guy? And I've stopped listening to a lot of music because the stars of it turn out to be assholes, and I just don't want to like propagate assholery.
I think as a general, that's one of the reasons why I don't pay too much attention to the bands as people. I mean, when like we do a lot of stuff around band-maid, obviously a band, I've seen them live, we've done so much stuff around band-maid, and they're a band who I actually genuinely enjoy. I wouldn't cover them so much if I didn't, and you know, I don't have the patience for it, but I really enjoy them. And I wouldn't really care about what they're like as people in reality. All I care about is the music. But it's just because as a community, so many of their fans are really into the personality, the image of the band, that it draws you in. And so I'm glad that they're actually come across as really genuine, nice people. But do you know what? There's a lot of bands where when I listen to them, I don't want to know what you're like as people. I just want to, again, it goes back to the thing. I just want to hear the waves come through the headphones and go, yeah, I like this or I don't like it.
I think it could go both ways, because sometimes, like, when you meet the actual band, like, there's some bands that I haven't liked musically as much, and it's done the reverse, which is awesome to see. When you meet them, you're like, oh, these are cool guys. Like, and then all of a sudden you feel a little bit more appreciation for the music. And then you go watch them. So Band-Maid's a great example of this. They come off as really awesome girls. Like, they sound like people you could sit down and have a conversation with. And for me, like, knowing, since they do share their personal stuff a little bit on how they are, they have actually made me like them more, just from, like, seeing how down to earth they are. So it could go both ways, this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But,
oh yeah, no, I don't deny that at all. I just sometimes I fear taking the risk when if it's a band who I'm not that invested in. I fear taking the risk of finding out more, because it's like, well, look, just let me enjoy the music. I don't want to risk finding out you're actually a bunch of dicks.
I feel you on that. You know what? There's a person that I really wish I didn't meet, to go with what you're saying. Wes Borland. I met him when he was doing the Black Light Burns, and he's a fucking ass.
Yeah, see, the thing is like, that I can imagine him being an arse.
Guess what, though?
Things that he's
Fred
written
Durst,
where he just comes across as an arse.
Fred Durst, the nicest guy ever. I met both of them, and I was like, so I knew.
Well, this is what I mean.
I knew immediately. I knew immediately that it was just an act, like that Fred Durst was putting on. He was just a smart businessman, like, period. And
He's
I was
just
like,
a poor old guy now. Poor guy. Cut him some slack. You know, ignore all the lyrics he wrote that were.
Yeah, no, he is literally
sweetheart.
He's literally the worst rapper ever to be born.
Have you heard the guy from Linkin Park? He's pretty fucking bad.
They're not bad.
No.
Hold on.
Okay.
They have bad song. They have some raps that are bad, but there's some rap that's good. It's not all bad.
Let's be clear for a second here. If we're talking about Mike Shinoda, yeah, I mean, he's not as good as I'm sure he would like people to believe he is, but at least he's what I would call competent. You know, he's one of those ones where, you know, he can basically deliver a rhyme scheme. He can do things that work to a different rhythm. He has the ability to construct something which has a little bit of thought put into it. Whereas when you look at Fred Durst, it's like literally he's trying to put the rhymes on the end of each line. He's failing with the number of syllables. Half of them aren't making sense. He's using metaphors that leave you confused. He's calling himself a polar bear for reasons that make him sound like a big gay guy. I mean, there's just nothing about it that
Howard,
really...
I think you were just confused. I understood all the metaphors he was saying, so I don't know.
I think maybe we shouldn't try and dissect.
Okay, whatever you were smoking.
Intellect of Fred Durst lyrics. That was never a fucking issue.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think... I know
what the fuck are we talking about?
Howard, you're giving him a lot of credit. I gotta say.
I don't think he put that much thought into it, dude.
I don't think he did. That
was some shit. That's all. Just wanted to have a fucking party.
All right, bring it back to Japanese music real quick. So what is your all-time top favorite Japanese band right now?
Come on, that question didn't make any sense. What's your all-time favorite Japanese band right now?
Okay, fine. What's your favorite Japanese band? Hey, again, you're looking too much into what I'm saying.
So what's your all-time favorite band?
That's what I do. I analyze. I sit and I analyze and I complain. Right, it's what I do.
I'm rephrasing the question. What's your favorite Japanese band right now? There you go. Sorry, I didn't mean to say all-time.
I'm going to give the boring answer to most people and say, well, I mean, I could give multiple answers that would change every day because style is also.
I said right now. I thought you were analyzing what I was saying.
That's what I'm saying.
I said right now.
Shut the fuck up and let me finish.
But you're not.
So
just fucking say it.
So
go.
Right now.
I didn't say all time. Right now.
Oh fuck! It changed again. No, okay. Well, probably the best answer I could give you would be say. I mean, the band who I think I'm kind of looking forward to most at the moment is I'm really enjoying watching the rise of Trident. That's a band who, yeah, I don't know, just kind of like. I really think that there's a lot of good things potentially coming from them. I would say, obviously, I'm listening a lot to things like Band-Maid. Been listening to a lot of Scandal recently as well, actually. and there's another band who I was into a lot recently, as a band whose name I can't even pronounce because it's a French name, but then they're writing katakana, it doesn't make any sense. It was like Pasipia. But they're like a really cool sort of pop rock, do like really crazy sort of electronic and heavy stuff all mixed together. Yeah, there's a lot of bands I'm listening to at the moment, but the band who I'm kind of like most excited about, I think, would be Trident, because I think they're
Trident
really
song
doing a lot of different things.
Sorry, that Trident song was amazing. If they go in the direction of their last song, I will be a fan of Trident. They will, right there. I'm just not a big fan of their older stuff. I like it, but that new song, I hope they keep doing that. Whatever they're doing there with Spoopy,
That's incredible.
That's a badass song.
I think one of the things that I really like about them, though, is that I feel like every song they release, it's all within that rock formula, but they're doing very different things. Like, they had songs that are more sort of mid-tempo anthems, and you have things like Spoopy, which is more of a heavy, distorted song with the electronic bits coming in there and all kinds of that glitchy sound. Then you've had songs that are slightly more in that sort of punk rock area. That's what I like about them, is I don't feel like you're just going to get the same thing over and over again. I mean, I remember when they had the whole girls rock band Kakume.
But you don't like Maximum the Hormone. For fuck's sake.
That band. No, I'm not a big fan of that band. I would say if I had a dislike meter, they would be near to Maximum the meter. But no, I'm not. No, yeah,
Clever.
sorry.
Very
Yeah, I
clever.
know. That was so edgy, wasn't it? Everyone thought I was going to say it. No, I didn't. Yeah, when the whole girls rock band Kakume thing was going on, I was like, okay, this is a band who sound like they got ideas, but it isn't quite clicking. And then the minute Trident started, I was like, you just felt the ideas starting to click, and there's just everything they seem to release, perfect or not, it all seems, you can really tell what they were trying to do, and that always gets me excited for a band, because I feel like there's a lot of ideas. I like bands where you can feel like they're really sort of coming up with lots of fresh ideas. So. Is there a mouse? Have you put a mouse under my nose?
I did.
Yeah, you put a mouse. Yeah.
There. Let's put it under there. No. I did not mean to do that. It was not intentional.
Is there like an HR department I can contact over that? Inappropriate mouse touching.
Ryan's HR, actually. So if you want to talk to him, he's right here.
Ryan, I was inappropriately touched by one of your employees.
You volunteered to come on the show, dude. Alan, don't do that again. And if anything else happens, you're free to leave.
He folded like a house of cards, didn't he? It was like, yeah, it's not standing up for his employees or anything.
Alan, knock it off. Told you too many times.
All right. Oh, okay. I'll stop. So
but
I wasn't expecting you to mention Trident, and there's something I really appreciate about your reviews is I was watching Unlucky Morpheus, and I really liked your take on it. I've never thought about it like this. You mentioned that they have a visual K element to them, and you're absolutely right. They really do. I never thought about that, so this is another reason why I should go subscribe to his channel, because he does have some very unique takes like that. Never thought about them like going in that realm, and I completely agree with you, because it's not necessarily a style of music I like, but I love Unlucky Morpheus mainly because her vocals are amazing and his badass riffage, and it's cool. But I really liked what you were saying about that. If you want to reiterate to everyone that's here, tell them about that, about the whole visual K linkage with that.
So. I mean, I'm one of those people who never been into Visual K that much either, although, there's some good songs that come
I'm kind of the same way. It's hit and miss for me.
Yeah, very much. Whereas Unlucky Morpheus, a lot of the time I try to myself justify the fact that I had a little bit of I was trying to not pigeonhole them, but try to work out exactly in what mood I should enjoy this, because there's a sense about it that it's kind of got this silly irreverence that I like, which boils down right to the over-the-top visuals. When they did the April Fool's thing where they're playing each other's instruments, there is a lightheartedness to it, and yet the music is so dramatic, and they got song names like the one that came out today, which was like Black Death Mansion Murders and all this kind of stuff. And I was saying in my review that very often when you have bands like heavy metal bands who don't take themselves with a pinch of salt, who take themselves too seriously, where all their titles include the words like Satan, murder, black, death, and all this kind of stuff. And then they're all sort of look gloomy with long hair. I was like, those are the kind of bands where I find it hard to enjoy them because I feel like they're taking themselves too seriously. It's like you can be heavy and also be a bit irreverent. Then I can get more on board with it because I can relate to it more. So I got that vibe from Unlucky Morpheus. But at the same time, I look at them and I think, you just look like the sort of people, if I met you in the street, I'd be like, what is going on here? But it kind of suddenly occurred to me as like, actually, this is slightly that visual K aspect. And in a way, it helped me understand really more visual K better as well, is that there's this kind of, I refer to it as like a Tim Burton-esque quality.
Yeah, that's right. You did mention that. I thought that was interesting because like when you said that, I rewatched some of the videos. I'm like, yeah, it does have those vibes, like Nightmare Before Christmas kind of vibes, like just the feeling, even though it's not exactly like that, or like even those old Batman movies, I kind of was like, yeah, it does kind of feel like that, you know?
It's that feeling that, okay, why I said the Tim Burton thing, I think you're right.
Edward Scissorhands too. That's a great example too. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Because again, Edward Scissorhands, it's that juxtaposition between him looking out of place in his environment, which Unlucky Morpheus have done that kind of thing visually as well themselves. But it was that feeling that with Tim Burton movies, for example, don't like all of them, but the thing that you usually get is the feeling that you can take the darkness because of the fact it's weirdly not gloomy. It's weirdly kind of dark, but in a way that it wants you to enjoy it. And I was like, okay, actually, yeah, that is Unlucky Morpheus. It's dark, but it's a friendly form of dark. It's like, come enjoy our crazy theater show with us, more than we came from the gates of hell to bring you the angriest songs you ever heard.
Right.
I was like, yeah, I get that. I like that. And suddenly it made it just something where I was like, yeah, I can feel more connected to this. So yeah, that's just kind of like the feeling I had. I was trying to really quantify why I like Unlucky Morpheus, when in a lot of ways they're not the sort of band I would usually be that big into. And yeah,
it's okay to just like something, man. It's okay.
Yeah, but
you like it.
Yeah,
I think that goes back to what you were saying about the previous thing. But I mean, if we just said I like it because I like it, that's fair enough. But I mean, I kind of look at it the same way as, I mean, I'm not going to not like Unlucky Morpheus because of things that but it's like if I drive a car, I can drive a car and not do what the clutch does, or not know what the clutch does, or I can drive a car.
Go ahead and do that. Try that out. Tell me how that goes.
But I mean, if someone says when to press the clutch, if your driving instructor says when to press the clutch, but you don't know what it does, you could learn to drive a car without knowing why you're pressing the clutch, just doing it in order. But if you know mechanically what it does, then it kind of adds to it because you just understand it. And I think that's what we do as channels when we review songs.
Howard,
we could just say, don't worry about any of this. We could just say,
you lost me with that clutch analogy. I'm fucking, my mind, my caffeinated brain just went.
All right. So if you just said, well, music, if you like it, then you like it. Well, then what's the point in any of us doing this on YouTube? The reason we do it is because it's fun to pick through and understand why we like it. And sometimes when something we don't understand, think, oh, I wouldn't usually like that, but I like it. That's fun because then it gives you a bit of perspective, and in understanding it, it makes it more of an enriched experience. So I do agree that if you like it, that's fine. But I think what we're here to do is add that extra layer of thinking about why.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. Good point. You just lost me with that clutch.
Is also a great band, by the way. Just saying.
I want to watch your reviews, and if any of them is more than a sentence long, just good. See you next time. Dude. Yeah, no. I'm out.
Well, okay. I guess.
All right, go ahead, Ryan.
I've been led into some genres of music, obviously, that I wouldn't normally listen to, but I find myself liking it. Like Atarashigako. First time I heard them, like, this is fucking great. And then there's a lot of things going on that I wouldn't have listened to just kind of blindly if it wasn't somebody suggesting it. And since I did listen to it, I'm like, well, I like this. I wouldn't usually, but I didn't worry about why I did. I liked it. So, I checked out more. Then, so I do think about, it's like, well, why do I like this as opposed to something similar that I don't like? So I guess I kind of, I did the same thing. But I think I like it without, worrying about it too much.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously you don't worry about it. If you worried about it, that would be crazy. But it's the case of you don't worry about it, but you enjoy thinking about it.
Well, it kind of sums it up like this. Like, that's what I love about the Japanese music scene, is that they make me like genres that I never thought I would like. That's what I've been loving about it.
Yeah.
Like, I would not listen to as much power metal as I am now. I used to love just playing power metal. I would hate listening to it. But there's some power metal, like Love Bites, and now with that new Hagane song, like, wow, this is some badass power metal. Like, I can get into this. You know, it's like one of those things. That's what I really appreciate about the music scene is like they're bringing other genres up where you really like it. Even like that Spoopy song, like that has a lot of new metal vibes to it, or like that gent, or like that kind of thing. But they do it in a way where it makes you like it a lot, and it's just crazy. Like, and I think you know, Bay Metal's a band that does that. A lot of bands that, even Band-Maid, that style of music, even though theirs is really hard to represent, it reminds me, it is reminiscent to some older hard rock stuff that I didn't listen to, but Band-Maid adds a technical layer that I love so much, and that's why I ended up falling in love with them afterwards. But that's my point was I really like how they make you just get into different styles and genres. Like, for example, Crossfaith, I didn't think Ryan would like, and he ended up liking it, right? To a certain extent. I was like, this might be too much on the hardcore side, but they still have this little bit of crazy element that's in it. You see the live performance, and I think you and Wave were convinced. Champ not so much, but yeah, I mean, but it doesn't matter. It's just it was refreshing to see like that genre of music. I was like, oh, I don't know if Wave and Ryan are gonna like this, and they ended up liking it. So I was like, oh, that's badass.
I've even been led back around to music that I kind of dismissed initially, and after liking some that kind of bent these genres a little more, I'm like, okay, well, I'd like that. Why don't I like this? Let me go check it out again. And then it's just kind of you know, you open yourself up to liking things, and then you just have too much shit to listen to, and when somebody asks you who your favorite band is, you're like,
that I think actually that's a really good example. You're already like, oh, I'm kind of overloaded on like bands who I'm really into.
Okay,
and suddenly you find yourself going back around to a band who you dismissed, and it's like, oh, now even the bands who I'm not listening to now, they're joining, and oh shit, I'm screwed. So yeah, I really sympathize with that, but that's kind of the joy of it. And I mean, one thing I should point out, because I get the feeling that maybe I'm painting a bad image of this, but one of the things that I really like with we'll see if you agree when I say in a minute, but with the whole like atmosphere on like the Discord for my channel and the whole feeling on there is that I think we bring in so many people, as I think you guys do as well, who like really different music. I mean, we cover like things like Perfume, really poppy stuff. We'll go over to the heavier stuff, you know, listening to things like Love Bites, and you know, kind of covering everything. And I found that initially when we first started doing that years ago, there was a degree of, you know, you'd have some people would like disagree quite strongly, but then it filters down to just people who just enjoy the conversation of disagreeing and hearing different opinions. And what I really love about it is now every time I go onto my Discord, there's people sometimes agreeing, sometimes disagreeing, but there's no conflict. It's just lovely how just naturally it's just kind of sift into this like community of people who actually enjoy disagreeing about music. And so for me, again, that goes back to the thing. I just love the idea of you can just enjoy music as music, but when you're around people who like different music, or you're listening to music you wouldn't expect, it really opens you up to things you wouldn't think. And then suddenly your perspective shifted. Maybe a song that you wouldn't have liked before, you listen to it in a different mood or in a different setting, and you just suddenly it clicks. So yeah, no, that's I really am into like every genre. There's not many genres I can think of that I don't like.
So something about your your channel that's really cool, guys, that he breaks it down. He has like this list of stuff. I really like how you like go through, you go through that review process of the song, and you really get detailed into it. How did you get into that? How did you start doing the way that you're watching those videos? Because I really believe your channel needs a lot more love, guys. Go subscribe to him, because it's really good. Like, I got lost listening to your videos this morning, and I was like, man, I need to keep watching your videos, because I was watching it sporadically. So like, I need catch up. Let me binge them. But yeah, tell me how you got to that format, because you didn't always have that format, and it's really cool. Tell them about what you do, how you do the videos, how you break it down, so everybody knows a little bit more about what you do over there.
I mean, how it came to that, basically, originally, like I said, I started off doing reactions just because it seemed like a nice way of getting into it. But as I say, it never really sat with me because I feel that what people are looking for in reaction videos is very clear, and it's not something that I really feel comfortable doing. Funny thing, I'm one of those people who, if I watch a movie or if I listen to a song for the first time, even if I'm really into it, you won't get it from looking at my face, because I just kind of go into this zone and I just sort of like, I'm taking it in. And one of those people, if I go to see a movie for the first time, I could go in there really needing to eat and really needing to pee. But then the minute movie starts, I forget. And then 2 hours later, when it finishes, I'm like, I need to get to the toilet right now. It's just like, you know, I like to really sort of get in something and focus. And so the reaction format, I wasn't really, you know, it kind of just didn't look right. And I didn't really feel like it was natural the way I like to listen to music for the first time. So in a way, I kind of wanted to get away from it for a while. It didn't really suit me. But I was always kind of scared of the fact that if I just did reviews, that people wouldn't really be interested. And obviously, yeah, when it came to that, we got far less people. But just for me, because I felt naturally more like I was doing something that felt honest and true. And
how
felt
far
like
were you on
doing.
your original channel? Like, how big was your original one before it had gotten taken down?
About 1,650 subs.
Okay, wow. So you were just getting into it, right?
And like quite a bit over 1 million views total. But the channel, we restarted the channel in spring of 2020. And as of now, over 2 years later, we've got 250,000 views and 800 subs. But you know what? I just
posted his link in the chat, guys, if you want to go ahead and hit a sub on that.
Thank you, and thank you. I can see some people subbing right now. So thank you very much for that.
Absolutely,
I mean,
man.
Just personally, like when I value those subs more, because in a way I know that those people, all they're getting from me, I'm not playing them the song at all. All they're getting is just me talking. And the sheer fact that they're actually interested in me talking about the songs, I feel just really quite honored by that. I'm like, okay, I really appreciate that you guys are interested in what I have to say.
Well, they can watch the video and check out your review. I mean, that's what's cool.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
For me, I like react to it, right? And I do a thing, and it was really cool. Like I said, your takes on it are very interesting. So I think it's worth a try, you know, check it out.
I mean, I've got to be honest, whenever I watch your videos, there's a couple of people in our little close-knit group who I watch. And I'll be honest, when I watch your videos, most of the time, I kind of get to the reaction. I kind of skip over the reaction and I go to your review. Because I really like hearing what you think. But then I kind of noticed on a lot of the videos that you were stopping the songs and really talking about them. So then I went back and watched some of them, and I watched the bits and I realized those bits in between. But there are some reactors who, you know, I just kind of want to get to the bit. It's like, all right, tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. So I don't need to hear the song again. I want to hear what you think.
Yeah, we got back. We did get back to doing that. Like we had talked about before a podcast. I kind of slipped out of doing that. But all the new ones that we released this week, we got back to breaking it down, more information about the band. So we're like, we're going back to our old way of doing things. Just, you know, get complacent after a certain period of time. And but you know, now I'm recharged, reset, ready to go, and just back to being informative, breaking it down more with actually having the guitar on and stuff like that. But Ryan does a really in-depth analysis. You should check out his channel if you haven't yet.
I was watching his Spoopy review, which I like, was quite high up in his channel. I was watching his Spoopy review when it came in, so just the minute I saw that he'd reviewed Spoopy, I was like, yeah, I'm watching that.
That was fun. That was a fun experience there. I like that. Was expecting that at all.
That was our bonding moment. That was our bonding moment before we even started talking. I was like, I love this man.
So what is your favorite reaction
what
channel
that feeling
to watch?
Was? What?
Oh, that's what that feeling was? What is your favorite reaction?
What that was.
What is your favorite reaction channel to watch? Like, what is your go-to that you kind of go to afterwards?
To be honest, I want to give props to one of my fellow channels who he started shortly after me. And I love his energy so much. The guy he's from a family of drummers. His dad was a drummer. He's a drummer. It's a guy who goes by the name Mexi Cali Weeb. And
what a name.
He's got like, he is pretty much exactly what the title says. He's up to now, he's like 975 subs, so he's getting near to 1,000 as well. If you like reaction channels where you just want to see someone who's got some real Latin passion just fall in love with Japanese music, he works a lot, so he doesn't get much of a chance to upload videos, so he hasn't got much content in the last few months. But I would say if you're a reaction channel person, he's worth checking out. And obviously our mutual friend over at Neon Reaper, he's I'm sure a lot of you guys know him as well. Good friend of mine, and he just does so many songs.
He does.
He's definitely a guy who I would say give him a little bit of time as well. I'm working on some projects with him as well. So if you like him and you like me, then yeah, we got some projects coming up as well. But those two guys,
I dropped the links for you guys.
Those two guys and you.
Mixcala Weeb's pretty active on Twitch, I believe.
Yes,
more so than YouTube. So if you want to check him out.
Yeah, he loves to court the copyright strikes. He's just like, nah, he's standing out there in the wind like, fire, shoot me, you know. But somehow he dodges all the bullets.
I mean, on Twitch you can get away with it because if you just don't publish the video afterwards, you're pretty good. And then for somebody to come on Twitch and take you down, it has to be a recent thing. So for example, like with the Baby Metal video, when they released their concert, the Budokan one, the reason why channels got taken down is because it just came out. And I'm like, you fucking idiots, why would you air that if it just came out? But if you do anything that's like 5+ years back, you're golden on Twitch, because after you're done streaming, they just silence it. And I just don't publish it afterwards unless I can check it afterwards. And then, but that's all they do is they silence it. So Twitch doesn't really do much about it unless it's something that's recently came out, or like some of the anime stuff. I know they get on you for that. I don't know if they're still cracking down on that, but for the most part, they just silence it right away. So that's why I can get away with watching it right then and there. But afterwards, if you're not recording it, they block out the audio of whatever you're playing.
Sorry. Oh, that's me. I can hear my own echo. I was like stopping to let myself speak. I did kind of want to point out, I mean, obviously I don't have much experience on Twitch. I should maybe do something with Twitch, but just for simplicity's sake, I kind of haven't as of yet. But
so hold their beast.
Looking more at the YouTube side, I think one of the other reasons why reviews was easier for me, and I briefly mentioned this when you sent me a link to your recent video about the strikes you'd been having, and I'd actually seen it before you sent it to me, but I was sort of saying that there's this thing that, I mean, we talked before about some of the things you've done to stay safe on your channel, and like some of them really good ideas, but having been around these companies, the one thing I know is that as complacent and old-fashioned as they are, they love to follow these little copyright vendettas. And the truth is that there'll be a new technology, and there's always this feeling that it'll come for your back catalog, and you'll end up getting struck and closed for something that you did like 5 years ago. So
luckily, just to mention though, when they do back catalog, just a little side note here, they now cannot give you more than one strike, because in the past, that's what Maximum Hormone used to do. That. So all they can do is take a group of reactions. So with Sony, they took down 5 of my videos, but they only could give me 1 strike. So that was my first strike. So they just took down only, I think it was like 3 videos. It was like some old school Japanese bands that were under the label, but they can't deliver a strike individually for each video now. They have to either do all in one group, or they give you strike and they can't give you another one until 90 days later. So
gives you a chance to. By the way, I was just going to say, I need to, due to the water I've been drinking, because of the fact that I have had a bit of a virus recently. I need to take a pee now.
Put your mask on.
How should I go to the toilet? Should I go the way that I showed you during sound check? Because that is my toilet back there.
Wait, you just told everyone we watched you piss pretty much right now. That's great.
Well, you're about to again, except I'm going to go by the kitchen to get a beer. So you guys talk behind my back, and you'll see me through the window.
Wow. Well, this is why we're going to put on Ryan's face. I think we'd rather see Ryan than you go to the bathroom.
I fucking hope so. Jesus. I'd rather watch this guy.
Oh man, Ryan, I saw you had a 28-minute band-maid reaction for Unleashed. It was awesome, by the way. Enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Enjoyed every minute.
That was in addition to my 46-minute one that sounded horrible, so I just put it on Patreon.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it.
They are, hopefully they're different. I didn't try and just copy what I did. I just did another one and
found out new things
where it went. But yeah, it was fun, man. It's cool that we did the initial reaction together. with the premiere, so I didn't have to like, you know, I listened to it a lot between when we did the premiere and then I did that video. So it was cool to just get into it, man. I, you know, learn some of the riffs and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Isn't it fun to do that though? Like sometimes I enjoy that, like just listening to a song a few times and just doing a reaction anyways, and just being like, hey, I've already listened to it, but it's just like I feel like I have a lot more to say after you let it like marinate a little bit.
Yeah, and that's why I started doing, you know, text overlays and shit. Because when I was editing the video, I'm like, oh, I didn't catch this, I didn't catch that, so I'd throw it in then, so I can kind of relax a little bit while listening to it and just let it happen all naturally, and then you know, try and put in stuff after that. But it was fun to. I listened to that song so many fucking times, dude. Not since I heard Gion show that I have a song on repeat.
Well, I have a whole new appreciation for that song just after like watching your video and Wave's video. So it did its job with the content you guys put out. I can't wait to release our reaction on it, but I just love the way you explain it. And then I started playing on guitar too with you, so it was fun.
Oh wow!
And then so yeah, it was fun breaking it down, like just watching your video on it, and then Wave's story behind it, and just realizing it was like about possibly the pandemic kind of stuff. I was like, wow, didn't even think of it like that. So it was fun. It was fun diving deep into it and then really looking at that music video further. So
I'd like to see your breakdown because I know there's going to be a lot more than what I did. I just like got the gist of things and fucking moved on.
Yeah.
Oh, we talking Unleash.
Yeah. I feel bad because like I did my Glim Spanky one all tired. I was like, I should have went into that a little bit deeper. But yeah, while we're on Unleash, what did you think, Howard, about Unleash? That entire song. I know he did a review on it too, but what do you think?
I will mention, because if anyone really wants an in-depth thing, I ended up doing an 18-minute video. And do you know what? Whereas usually every time I post my videos, I'm one of those YouTube people who I post my videos and afterwards I go, did I say anything useful? And I'm one of those people who I hate every video I post and I never watch them back.
I edited out that one part.
We did an hour reaction, so it's all good. We did an hour reaction, and then these guys did a separate 30-minute reaction afterwards. So like,
yeah,
I saw yours because I remember you covered it live and everything when it came out, and that was great. I mean, my one, I think that the one I did for Unleash, I had all of my notes and I was writing notes and I turned it around really quickly, but I actually think I made some really good points about that. So I just think anyone who wants to see more, I did an 18-minute video if you want to watch 18 minutes of me waffling about that. But basically, my feeling about it, I mean, a lot of people mentioned in the comments about the pandemic thing that I didn't quite pick up on that, and filled out a lot of the gaps that I didn't see. Well, Ryan,
go ahead and explain that for him, like, because it's pretty fascinating because you talked about it.
Watching it, there's a lot of speculation like right away about what, you know, the dark cloud represented, all that. And if you're familiar with the band, it helps with what they went through. And the cool thing was there's a lot of people that knew the band and people new to the band who are like, oh, what's this about? So, you know, the darkness coming in, everybody gets separated on their own. You had to, you know, quarantine during the pandemic, and so, well, the really cool thing was it was all justified because the interview came out with Miku and Psyche, and they're like, yeah, this is about the pandemic and us being separated and have to work through it and then coming back together to record, and then, you know, now we're getting back to playing live and they could see the fans. So the visual cues of you know, there's light kind of going from one to the other, and it's like a give and take, and that's what they said. It's like, well, we can give music to you, which hopefully will make you happy, then that makes us happy, and it's like this cyclical thing that, you know, we all just kind of need.
I need to start watching those interviews. I didn't even realize that. I was wondering.
Yeah, dude, it's pretty awesome.
I'm gonna start watching more. I always forget about him. But and then also Orange, it's from his, right? Is that what you're talking about? Those interviews, or is it a separate one?
No, there was a recent ones they just did within the last week.
Oh, okay.
Before the upgoing.
I'll have to go check it out.
Download. They're on. Check out O's Discord, and they're on there. And I mean, the site they're on, you can translate the whole page to English and read it. So it's really good.
I'll post it in our Discord, in our Gaijin guys Discord. I'll post it up for everyone if you guys want to check that out. I did not know that though. That's cool. But anyways, go ahead, Howard.
I've always been a great believer on one level that if a video has to be, and don't worry, I'm going to bring this around before anyone gets shocked. If a video has to be explained to you, that probably means it hasn't done its job right. However, if a video works and then someone explains it to you and you go back and actually you think, yeah, you know what, that was just me, I didn't get that. I can totally see how that was really well laid out, and just you need to have the inside knowledge. And that's why I really like the Unleashed videos, because I enjoyed it the first time. But then when I watched it back after some people had explained it to me, I was like, yeah, this is even better now. I was like, it was good improved anyway. I didn't feel like I was having to do a 2001 Space Odyssey where I have to read the book. It was like, no, actually, this actually does make even more sense now. So I thought it was a video that worked on numerous layers. I love the implementation of their previous videos into the anime as well. Sorry, Karen.
Alan knows how I feel.
What you were saying, like, about the whole, like, I don't think it. I think they explained it really well. I think it went over our head when we first watched
exactly.
it.
Yeah, I wasn't switched on enough to get it.
It's almost like their music. It's entertaining whether you understand it to in depth or not. But then once you understand it more, like, oh well, fuck, it's even more brilliant than I realized.
Exactly.
They did it's fun anyway. And then once you understand it, it's just even better.
Yeah, because after I watched Wave's video and Ryan's video, I went and watched the music video, and I was like, just like what Ryan said, it was like, thank you for doing the thinking for me, or doing the research for me. You know, like I was like, because when you're focused on the music, so like this is why reaction channels and review channels are so cool, because it does cut through the chase, so you don't have to kind of look into it, because I already looked into it for you, and it's like it's great. Like I didn't even know about the interview until right now. Like it's like, oh cool, all right, cool. Like
the weird thing is that like, the review that I did about it, I was looking at it purely at the sort of the visceral impact. Like I was talking about how effective certain techniques were, how certain sounds were used, how effective the video was at conveying the sort of movement, how things moved around the screen. I was talking more about that. So the interesting thing is, even after I found these things out afterwards, I still felt like my video was kind of relevant. But then I realized there's this whole layer beyond what I talked about, and especially Wave's video. Wave's video was very much focusing on the meanings behind the song, and I kind of felt like Wave's video almost felt like a nice partner for my own.
Like for me, I was just too stupid. I saw that they were in separate like videos, like they were showing like the music videos. I just didn't fucking make the connection because I'm retarded. So
yeah,
but
no, me as well. Even when I was going, oh, that's the bit from Domination, I didn't think, why is that bit from Domination? I was like, that's cool, it's got that. So I think I'm not very good at picking up on themes. I just like to analyze the emotional, visceral impact of it. But yeah, no, it was a really, I just loved the impact. I loved the enthusiasm. It was what a single should be, in that it sounded like the band. It was catchy in the ways that it needed to be, and yet it added something. It moved it forwards. It wasn't just them sitting on their hands and being complacent. They added something to the sound. I was going to say the word that I so frequently use for band-maid is nuance. It's like, as you were saying, actually, you can enjoy it on a simple level, but if you dig, there's nuance, and the video and the song both have.
All right, so I got a question for both of you. We'll start with you, Ryan, first. How do you guys feel about the people that do not like the single? Because there's a lot of people that do not like this single.
On what basis, though? I mean,
on Unleash. No, they just don't like the song. Is there a general
consensus?
They just don't like the song. They think it sounds too much like what they were doing before. Or I've heard Miku. They say Miku rehashed lyrics and stuff like that. So I'm just curious on your thoughts. Let's start with Ryan. Ryan, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of the people that don't like it express the same feelings for Sense and Hibana and Corallium, to where it's a lot different from I'm going to say most of the people that express dislike for it have liked them for a long time through their changes they've made, and admittedly they're a lot different now than they were 8-10 years ago, and they like, oh, I hope this isn't the direction they're going to go. It's like, man, you've liked this band for a long time, and they've changed not really changed directions, but altered their course so many times that it's not just going to be, they're not just going to stick in this one thing and stay there. But it is, I understand how it's, if you like them for one thing and it's not that thing, you may not like it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I love it. I like the music that's similar to it, but I don't want to hear an entire EP that's like that. Would I like that? Yeah, but I also want to hear them do some more get back some like more groove oriented, a ballad or something would be great.
And we know that they're gonna not do it all the same anyways. I mean,
yeah,
even the last album was not all the same. I mean, it has a similar vibe, like tone wise, guitar wise, but I mean, it's still changed up. Like Black Hole sounds nothing like Warning. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So
it wasn't as varied as, you know, fucking Conqueror. That's for damn sure.
Conqueror, yeah, that they go a lot of directions for sure. What about you, Howard? What did you think? What do you think about those comments being made?
Well, I think, to be honest, again, it comes back to that thing where sometimes if someone can say something where I can go, look, I can understand your point, that's fine. And I can get that. I mean, there are various things. There are some things that Miku did in the vocals where I go, yeah, I can see how that was extracted from a previous song you did. The guitar line, I got that vibe that we first heard on Screaming and came up a lot on Unseen World. There were things, and yeah, if I was being honest, if I was to cite a number one criticism, it might be that in a way, as someone who, my big thing, I love anything that's kind of surprising variation. I love things that are just different. So if my biggest criticism, I would probably give them a little bit of agreement. But the problem is that the agreement I would give them would be like a 5% compared to the 95% of me, which was just like, well, I really like this song and I wouldn't automatically switch it out for another one because I don't feel like they have got another song that does exactly the same thing. Obviously, when you're within a band's sound, there is going to be similarities in the same way that when you're within a genre, you're going to have similarities with other bands who are in the genre. The question is, how much variation do you need to validate a new song in your opinion? If this is not enough variation from you, maybe you need to listen to more different bands. Maybe that's the problem for these people.
Well, people try and...
Yeah, for me, it's like, I'm okay with them still sounding like Band-Maid. They weren't just rehashing a song. They were just borrowing some concepts they'd used before.
Right. People want to pretend that they used it because they couldn't think of something else, or, you know,
well, that's bullshit.
There was no accident in that. Putting fake it till you make it. That's a
Well,
that's a part of their growth, you know.
Actually,
Grupo is,
and
it's a relevant point.
If I could cite something actually that Ryan said earlier, which is, I think this is actually the core issue, is that a single, sometimes it's picked by the band, sometimes it's the one the company says, yeah, this is a good one to put forward. The point is you don't know until you listen to the collection of songs. When we listen to the EP, if they all sound the same, fine. If you don't know, there could be like all ballads except for this song, and then you're going to have pie in your face, aren't you? You know, you can't judge off of the first single to come out from a collection. And if you're getting too emotional about it, then I think that's more a reflection on you and your ability to control your emotions.
I was going to mention, another thing, though, when you're songwriting, you always tend to add a little bit of another song by pure accident. Like, I've caught myself doing that, where I accidentally throwing a similar word all the time. You're like, oh, fuck, what? Maybe I shouldn't use that word, you know? That's going to happen naturally, especially if you have, like, 7 albums and EPs. Like, something's going to get recycled eventually.
And this was written around the same time they did the songs for the Scent single.
Exactly,
I mean, they didn't just write it. You
can tell.
It's been in the work. So if there was a certain feel going on during that studio time, then there's going to be similarities.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever, man.
Yeah, I actually, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that, but because I noticed, by the way, when I did my first review, when I was just sort of doing a lead up to the hype about this whole EP, I sort of mentioned how I noticed how 2 of the songs came across, but how Hibana didn't. And I was like, well, that's clearly a way to make sure that there's still a reason for people to pay for that single, because you've got to have one song that doesn't come across, just so that there's still going to be someone to clear all the extra units of that CD that are there long afterwards, so they can't find the tracks elsewhere. But I got a bit of all of them just by a smidge. Hibana was my favorite, so I was sad not to see that moving across. But as you say, they all kind of come from the same point, and that was a great free, that Sense thing, that was a great free track surprise. So yeah, that's got me really excited about this one. That was just brilliant.
I like the sound, honestly. Like, I like what they're doing. I know some people don't. I do feel like it's a little compressed, a little overly compressed on these songs, but at the same time, like somebody mentioned, I'm excited for the live versions of all these songs.
Oh hell yeah, dude!
They're gonna sound fucking great, and we're fortunate enough to go see some concerts, when they get here. So I'm really excited to hear all these new songs being played live. I really am.
Does download look like? There's a typhoon hitting Japan right now, and I hope everybody's safe first of all. But I wonder if It's supposed to be dying down. I don't know. Hopefully they're going to be able to play.
Gonna die down for a few days. So basically it's been strong. I think yesterday and today it was quite strong. I think over the weekend it's going to be calm, and then the report suggests on Wednesday it will come back for a few days quite heavy. Wow. That's the current report. But that could have changed. I mean, these things change really quickly.
Yeah, I was looking right now. Yeah, they're getting hit pretty hard. So tropical storm likely to make a landfall in Japan on Saturday. So, which
we had a huge storm pass over here a couple of days ago, flooded everything. So it's getting.
I love this adjective though, and a maximum instantaneous wind speed of 90 kilometers per hour. But anyways, what part of Japan are you in, man?
Well, yeah, just point out. I mean, so just for anyone who
give us your exact address. We want to hunt you down so we can, avenge Maximum Hormone comments. But
as anyone can tell who can see where I am, you probably gather I haven't had a permanent address in over a year now. So basically, what happened? But I spent a lot of time traveling around Japan. I'm currently in Korea for a little while now. I'll be going back to Japan ASAP. I'm just sorting out my paperwork.
Oh, you're in Korea right now?
Yeah, just for a short while. I'm in Seoul. But because I needed somewhere just to go while I was sorting some things out, and I thought this is a good place. I've been here before, I know it, so I came here. But basically, I usually live in Tokyo, based in Tokyo, but Sapporo is my favorite place in the world, so I spend a lot of time in Sapporo when I can. We ran the channel out of Nagano for a while. I've been all over Japan. You'll see videos of me recording reviews, like some of the older ones, me walking around in like Kinchicho.
I saw those.
In Ueno.
Like your little shorts.
Yeah, there was one at me that the old Olympic ski jump, just standing at the bottom, recording a review of a Wagamama Rakio song. Yeah, I mean, there's ones where I've been attacked by dogs while I was doing reviews. Recently in Korea, I had one where a cat just appeared and started eating my food.
A woman started by geese.
Oh, you've been attacked by geese during a video, man.
During a music video.
During a music. Oh, that's even better because you can include it and it becomes part of the. But I had an emergency warning on my phone the other day and I couldn't read it because it's in Korean, so I just held it up to the phone to the camera. I was like, "Hey, anyone want to tell me what the emergency is? I'll find out a week after."
Yeah.
So so basically, I'm not located in one place. It can be rough on occasion, but I'm doing what I love. I love doing this channel. And the community is genuinely, the people we have on our community are just, they're just solid gold, loving the bits. So yeah, I really enjoy that. And I have got extra projects, like I say, in the works. Yeah,
I was about to
say
doing
what I love. And so I can take some hits on that front.
Go ahead and tell everyone about these projects that are coming up, about your channel, because we're going to wrap it up right now. So go ahead and get some parting words and
let them know about everything. Book. All right. So in basic, there's a few things in the work. But one of the ones that we're really working on is outside of the normal Baka broadcast. I've got a channel starting up with Neon from Neon Reaper, he changed the channel to Neon Reaper. We're doing a channel together where we'll be doing a weekly 1 hour show. It's going to be a little bit on the sort of, there's some comical things we've got coming on there. If you go into my in Discord, you'll see that we've actually having a lot of people contributing to some of the really fun ideas we got for that. We got some guests. It's going to be a very sort of light-hearted review of various things. But that's going to be a weekly show that we're going to be doing. On top of that, obviously, I've got the main channel, Baka Broadcast. We're currently doing 2 reviews every single day and a live chat every Sunday. We're going to start doing, going back to doing some of the album reviews we used to do as well, but we're covering new songs, old songs, every single genre. And occasionally we have a review reaction roundup where I do a long video where I just go through all the reviews that people have given me, that suggestions that I haven't had a chance to listen to yet. So really, we're churning through a lot of songs, really giving honest opinions on all of them. I do have another, as of yet, unnamed channel coming up as well, where I will be talking to a lot of doing kind of like quite long form podcasts where I'm talking to a lot of other YouTubers, because I've got to learn a lot of people on YouTube who do all kinds of different types of content. So there's 2 currently yet to come out projects, but they'll all be announced through Baka Broadcast. So if you're on Baka Broadcast, and especially go onto any of our videos and you'll find the link for our Discord. If you want to join the Discord community as well, that's where most of the announcements come up, or just follow the videos and I'll be talking about it. I love this guy. While I'm talking about it, he's out there putting my channel up and then sticking Codec at the top. But
hey, God damn it! Don't be picky, fucker. Come on, stop being picky. No, I didn't. I
told you it's my job. I have to complain.
I just didn't change the overlays fast enough, but yeah, my bad for showing off your YouTube channel page. My bad.
I love it. I love it, man. I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Well, with that being said, Ryan, you got any last thoughts before we end this?
No.
All right, guys, stay awesome out there.
Here's my last thought. Here's my last thought. I'm sorry to Ryan because of the fact that he seems like a nice guy, and I haven't shut the fuck up in the last 2 hours. The poor guy's sitting there going like, he's going to stop eventually. Nah, man, I don't. No. I don't ever stop. I'm like the Duracell bunny. You're not going to get a word in edgeways, and I feel bad now. Anyway, that's
okay.
Thank you, everyone.
I'm used to it.
Thank you to everyone who subbed. Thank you to everyone for just listening. It's really great to get to know you all. Have a lovely time.
All right. See you later, guys. Stay awesome out there.
Thanks, everybody.
It was fun. Join us tomorrow, the usual time, or for a full 2 hour show for Japanese music news. All right. See you. And this is where I try to end the stream and fail every time. All right.
Yeah. It goes so smoothly.
Ciao, ciao.